has a mission statement. And Kolbe's mission statement is to provide a secure, humane facility that is geared towards meaningful rehabilitation and successful reintegration. We, from the get-go, had those goals in mind. We understand that incarceration definitely has a negative effect on families and the inmates. I don't know that a person, once they have been introduced to any prison at all or to the prison system, is any better when they leave. I think it affects them negatively. I think psychologically they probably think about it a lot. I think it affects them emotionally too. So what we try to do with people when they come to prison is to try and, you know, encourage them or teach them or show them how to cope with prison life. We all know that not everybody that comes to prison deserves to be in prison, because we do have travesties of justice in just about every justice system. I mean, how many times do we not watch the news and find out that a man after 33 years in prison have been exonerated? How many times have we not heard of people being exonerated posthumously? All kind of thing, you know? I mean, it happens all over the world, you know? And because of that, we try to just look at these guys as human beings. They've made mistakes, and our job is to try and see how we can turn them around. If they come to prison and want to continue playing games, then obviously, you know, you got to be a bit harder with them. Obviously, you got to be different with them, that kind of stuff. But we don't give up still. No. We still try with them, you know. And like I said, it's all about saving lives, not destroying them, you know, that kind of thing. Because that has been our focus. We make sure that we do everything in our capacity, in our powers, to make that happen. And we can only continue to monitor the trend with the head count and see if the falling of the head count has anything to do with our being successful. We might be victims of our own success, but if that is the case, so be it. Yeah, we have no problem. I came to the prison on the 16th of December 2002. I had worked for Cisco Construction, that is a company owned by John Woods, the chairman back then of the Kolbe Foundation. We had just gotten the contract on the 1st of August 2002 to manage the prison for the government of Belize. And like I said, I had worked for him in the construction field. We were building the highways in the southern part of the country, and that job had come to an end. And he asked me to come to the prison to work, and I had no problem. I've never been to prison before, but you know, I took it as a challenge. I'm very much into challenges, by the way. I like challenges. You know that, right?
He always praised me for doing a good job in controlling the money.
Well, the thing is, in a prison environment, you got to control everything. Like I said, we get a very meager fee for looking after these guys. It's like $650 US per prisoner per day. And when the count is up, we do good. But when the count is down, we do terribly bad. And one of the things is that the expenses remain constant, because we need to continue to pay security. We need to continue to pay for rehab and administration and fuel and food and all of these things. And any little variation you would see with the food is nothing to talk about. It's very, very small. Even if you were to save on propane, what are you talking about? You know, you hardly see it on the variation. So that is how it works. So we're always on what you call a shoestring budget. And you know, there was always this need to cut corners in every aspect. We had to do it very smart, in such a way that we don't starve people just for wanting to save money. Louis continued with the kitchen. I think before long, Louis found out what I was all about, and he found out how tight a ship I run. And he understood that, there are certain procedures we're going to follow. And it was all in the interest of accountability and transparency. It was all in the interest of trying to cut costs and make things work. Stretch the dollar, like we call it, right, Lou?
That's how good he is with the books. I mean, accountability. And that's what it took on the financial aspect to run a prison, because in a prison, the government only gives a certain amount of money for an inmate per day. And that money has to be allocated to different departments. And the food service was allocated, what, $3?
Roughly $3.
So I had to feed, what was it, 1,300?
Back then it was about 1,300.
1,300 inmates on $3 a day. In the States, that's unheard of.
So those are some of the cost-cutting measures that we're still on as we speak currently.
Well, I remember one of the ways that we decided to cut costs was we started raising our own chickens.
That's right.
They would kill in the morning, and within 30 minutes after the chickens were killed, well, it was in the pot.
That's right. That's right.
We kept costs down.
And today we have those chickens. I mean, we're producing almost 25,000 pounds of chicken per month.
Wow.
So, but the head count has climbed since then too. Right now we're looking at 1,400 inmates per day, average. And one of the ways that I ensure that the kitchen is up to standards is by having our medical doctor conduct what you call a monthly inspection. And he doesn't have a set time or date to go and do it.
Good.
He just decides on his own time, today I'm going to do one, and he just shows up. So there's really no telling when he's going to come again. So if he wants to prolong it for a month and a half, it's up to him, but he does it.
And today, boy, I'm impressed. You don't know how impressed I am with what I've seen today. I've seen a complete change, and I think that has a lot to do with you taking over the prison. Because I remember you was the money counter.
Yeah, I was keeping track of the expenses.
Now you still keeping track of the expenses, but you got a whole lot more responsibility.
I think one of the pluses that I got, or one of the edge that I have in taking over the management of the prison, is the fact that I have this financial background. So really, I know just about everything. And remember, I have security background too, because I did 9 years security at the airport. I was a head of security for once, and so I have my backgrounds in just about everything. I went to Cisco Construction. I did construction, so but I'm an all-arounder then, so to speak.
So, but I can contribute to how the prison is running to your personal attributes, because of your integrity, because you're a man of God. And most of all, you have principles. Oh, yes. If there's one thing I know about you, if I don't know nothing else,
man of principles.
Principles. They could never ever say that you stole one penny from this prison.
The chaplain, we have a program or schedule of ministries that come in to visit on a daily basis. So for the entire week, for the entire month, the entire year, there's always these ministries that have their slots that they come, because we have prisoners of all denominations in the prison, and we have to cater to all of them, including the Muslims. Whilst the Muslims do not use the chaplain, as far as I am concerned, they do get their message to their fellow Muslim followers in their buildings. There's normally they're given a space, I think, in the particular building to talk to their people. But there's a schedule, and each and every ministry is represented. We have Seventh-day Adventists, we have Evangelical, we have Roman Catholic, the Muslims, etc. And they all have their slots, and they all come on specific days to come and preach to their people, to the people of their denomination. Louis, you were more on the evangelical side, right? So I think you and Jeff kind of shared the responsibility once you had pointed out to Jeff. But Jeff was the full-time chaplain.
Right.
His job was to make sure he coordinated all the and schedule all of the visits by these ministries. So that was his job. He did the scheduling, he prepared the calendar, everything. But I guess he also came in to do his sessions when he should have. And I think you pretty much fit in for him when he didn't come to do. But your job wasn't full-time chaplaincy. I think you threw in a little session here and there, but it wasn't that.
I add my success in the prison system. I say the system because the ministry is allowed to be a part of that system. It's not something that is guaranteed or warranted.
Yeah.
It's a privilege that the system allows the Word of God and men to come into the prison.